In at number 10, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, whose real name is Stephanie, was getting rave reviews for her leading role in the film A Star Is Born. Although even as healthy as she looked during the film's promotion, earlier that year she had to cut her European tour short because of fibromyalgia pain. Gaga was diagnosed with fibromyalgia many years ago but never really spoke up about it. The first time the fans really got to learn about this was during her documentary called Gaga 5'2". Following the release of this documentary, Lady Gaga tweeted more about her illness to not just spread awareness but to tell her fans how she copes with it. Back in 2017 she said, "In our documentary, the chronic illness and chronic pain I deal with is fibromyalgia. I wish to help raise awareness and connect people who have it. Thought ice helped fibromyalgia, I was wrong in making it worse. Warm and heat is better, electric heated blanket, infrared sauna, Epsom baths." Well, at least she gave you some tips. In at number 9, Sia. Sia is notoriously known for keeping her life very private, but with rumors about what was going on after she postponed her tour, she tweeted, "I'm not crazy, I have Graves' disease. The shakes, the nerves, the crazy, goodbye thyroid, I will kill you with radioactivity." Graves' disease is an autoimmune disease that causes the overproduction of thyroid hormone and affects about 1 in 200 people. The disease can cause fatigue, difficulty sleeping, irritability, weight loss, and bulging eyes according to the Mayo Clinic. About 9 years later, she tweeted to further clarify this secret illness that she had been battling. Sia tweeted, "Hey, I'm suffering with chronic pain and neurological disease, Ehlers-Danlos, and I just wanted to say to those of you suffering from pain, whether physical or emotional, I love you, keep going, life is f***ing hard. Pain is demoralizing and you're not alone." She would later clarify that post by saying, "Just to clarify, I have a neurological disease and Ehlers-Danlos. EDS isn't a neurological disease, sorry for the confusion."
And at number 7, Claire Foy. Actress Claire Foy has been open about the invisible illness she suffers from, anxiety. When speaking about her experience, she said, quote, "It's purely about that feeling in the pit of your stomach and the feeling that you can't because you're this or you're that. It's my mind working 1,000 beats a second and running away with a thought." Foy revealed it all started when her parents got a divorce at the age of 8. She tried to people please so nobody would fight, but that led her to overthink and turn into anxiety. She got help from a therapist and says, quote, "Now I'm able to dissociate myself from it more. I know that it's just something I have, and that I can take care of myself." And at number 6, Bella Hadid. Bella Hadid suffers from the same illness her mother Yolanda Hadid has, Lyme disease. After Bella was diagnosed, she claimed she felt hopeless, but she's learned to adapt her routines to her new limitations. Bella told The Guardian in 2016, quote, "It starts with brain fog. For a while I couldn't put sentences together. I'm really tired a lot. A few weeks ago I had a big campaign shoot that I had to reschedule. It's hard, but I pushed through because at the end of the day, if you're not working, somebody else is." When she was diagnosed in 2012, she thought she was going to be riding horses for the rest of her life, but the disease stopped those plans in its tracks. However, Bella says everything happens for a reason and she's happy with how things turned out. Halfway at number 5, Selma Blair. Selma Blair revealed that she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, or MS, on Instagram in October of 2018. MS is a condition that can affect the brain and spinal cord, causing problems with vision, arm or leg movement, sensation, or balance. When discussing her diagnosis, Blair said she knew that something was wrong and she'd felt off for years. However, she just thought it was something minor like a pinched nerve. As the disease has progressed, Blair now walks with a cane and continues to be open about her condition on social media. And at number 4, Sarah Hyland. Sarah Hyland was diagnosed with kidney dysplasia as a baby and has gone through many surgeries throughout her life to try and fix the abnormalities in her kidneys. At the age of 28, Hyland estimated that she had about 16 surgeries in her life at that point, adding that 16 of them took place within the last 16 months. In her life, she's had 2 kidney transplants. One kidney was given to her by her father in 2012, however that transplant failed and her body rejected the new organ. She spoke about the experience with self, saying, quote, "I was very depressed. When a family member gives you a second chance at life and it fails, it almost feels like it's your fault. It's not, but it does." She has also needed the help of dialysis at times, and in 2017 she chose a dialysis location close to the Modern Family set so she could more easily balance her work and her illness.
In at number 3, Michael J. Fox. The Michael J. Fox Foundation has raised more than $900 million to fund research to find a cure for Parkinson's. It's a disease that has affected the likes of Muhammad Ali, Neil Diamond, Jesse Jackson, Ozzy Osbourne, and Michael himself, who was diagnosed in 1991. He wouldn't reveal the details of his illness though for another 7 years. However, since going public with it, he has continued to persevere and speak about the disease's impact on his life. When speaking with CNN, he told them, "I refer to Parkinson's and the effect it's had on my life as a gift, and people are completely dubious of that and kind of wonder how I could say that. I qualify it by saying it's a gift that keeps on taking, but it is a gift, because it's really opened me up to be more of a kind, compassionate, curious, risk-taking person. But between the time that he was diagnosed and his announcement, he spent 7 years both suffering and learning about the disease, while also doing his very best to keep his condition out of the spotlight. And last but certainly not least, our number one spot, Chadwick Boseman. To many, the death of Chadwick Boseman was a huge shocker. We had just watched him as the powerful King T'Challa in Black Panther and many other films that the actor had been a part of. He seemed to be on the rise to have a very long and illustrious career in Hollywood. Unfortunately, Chadwick had been diagnosed with colon cancer and had been undergoing surgeries and chemotherapy for the past 4 years. The final tweet from the late actor has become one of the most liked tweets ever, and in the tweet the statement reads, "It is with immeasurable grief that we confirm the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016 and battled with it these last 4 years as it progressed to stage 4. A true fighter, Chadwick persevered through it all and brought you many of the films you have come to love so much. From Marshall to Defy Bloods, August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and several more, all were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy." His family went on to say that it was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life and that he passed in his home surrounded by his loved ones.
Coming in at 10, Tom Hanks, diabetes. Tom Hanks is one of the most famous actors in cinematic history, having won multiple Oscars and Golden Globes throughout his long career. It is hard for him to keep anything out of the public eye, which was why it was such a shock to fans when we learned back in 2013 that he had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. According to the actor, when he was diagnosed, the doctor told him, I quote, "You know those high blood sugar numbers you've been dealing with since you were 36? Well, you've graduated. You've got type 2 diabetes, young man." Tom also went on to state that despite not being consistently heavy, gaining and losing large amounts of weight for film roles is likely to have been a factor. He also stated that when he needed to gain weight for roles, he was living on junk food and taking very little exercise. Not a good move. Coming in at 9, Gene Wilder, Alzheimer's and lymphoma. Gene Wilder was a beloved actor who sadly passed away on August 29, 2016 at the age of 83. He was known for iconic films such as Young Frankenstein, The Producers and Blazing Saddles, but no role will ever be as iconic as Willy Wonka in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back in 1971. Now, prior to his death, Wilder had retreated away from the public eye, with the large majority of people having no idea whatsoever that he was battling Alzheimer's and lymphoma. Before he passed away, he explained that he kept his illnesses secret from the public so that if kids saw him and pointed him out as Willy Wonka, he wouldn't have to trouble them. He wanted to keep the fantasy alive. Coming in at 8, David Bowie, liver cancer. When legendary singer and actor David Bowie passed away on January 10, 2016, it was a shock to the entire world, with music fans being especially surprised, mostly because no one knew Bowie was even sick. Just 2 days after his 69th birthday and the release of the album Black Star, Bowie passed away from liver cancer in his New York City apartment. He had been diagnosed 18 months earlier with cancer but had not made the news of his sickness public. He did this because, to quote the legend himself, he wanted to go without any fuss. Following Bowie's death, fans gathered at street shrines and at Bowie's birthplace of Brixton, South London, where a mural is placed that shows him in his Aladdin Sane character.
In at number 7, Lil Wayne. When Lil Wayne suffered from a seizure that left him unconscious in his Chicago hotel room, rumors began swirling about it being drug related. The rapper was well known for drinking lean, which is essentially a codeine cocktail. Lil Wayne would soon reveal that due to his condition he was prone to having seizures, adding that this was not even the first time that he had experienced one. He also pointed out to his fans that just because he never told people that he was diagnosed with epilepsy doesn't mean that he had not been dealing with it, even pointing out a time where he was hospitalized during a specific episode because he had experienced 3 seizures in a row, which lowered his heart rate by about 30%, claiming that his seizures were the result of dehydration and working too much.
My mom said, no, when you were younger in New Orleans, that City Park, when I was actually real young, she was like, you're faint. For our lack of knowledge at that time, we didn't know it was a seizure.
So in addition to finding out that he had been epileptic this whole time, Wayne's doctor also told him that the mixing of one prescription pain medication with codeine combined with his regular use of lean resulted in this seizure. In number 6, Julianne Hough. Julianne Hough recently has become one of these several famous women, including Lena Dunham and Padma Lakshmi, who have been publicly discussing the challenges of life with endometriosis. This is one of those illnesses that is especially difficult to open up about, even with the people closest to them. Julianne opened up to E! News about her 10-year battle with the oftentimes painful disorder in which tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside of the uterus instead. said. During her chat, she revealed that she often suffered in silence and dealt with the pain on her own. She went on to say, "Obviously with my story, I came out with it in 2008 when I found out that I had endometriosis. But then at the time I was like, I don't know if I really want to talk about this. It's very personal and there can be some misconceptions about certain things, and I was like, I don't have the answers yet." The actress also said that she kept the information from her husband because she'd grown up her whole life as a competitor, believing that she could do anything on her own. In at number 4, Charlie Sheen. Back in 2015, Charlie Sheen was all over the news after his disastrous departure from the show 2.5 Men. His behavior following that seemed to be a little more erratic than usual, and as such, many rumors began circulating in regards to his health and well-being. While on the Today Show with Matt Lauer, Charlie finally broke the news to the world that he was HIV positive.
You know there are a lot of rumors out there right now, and you would like to address them head on, so I'll give it to you.
I'm here to admit that I am in fact HIV positive.
This had been a secret that he kept for a very long time, also admitting that he had paid millions of dollars to former partners of his just to keep it all a secret. This however resulted in what Sheen referred to as shakedowns for more money. So with his account being drained and the loss of his show, Charlie took control of the narrative and released information about his secret illness that he had been battling. Now you may be wondering why Charlie told these partners in the first place. Well, by law, anyone with HIV must disclose their health status to partners or risk jail time. This is regardless of viral load, treatment, or even transmission of the virus.
Coming in at 3, Gabrielle Union, adenomyosis. Gabrielle Union is best known for starring in films such as Bring It On, Bad Boys 2, 10 Things I Hate About You, and She's All That. However, this popular actress revealed a few years back that she was diagnosed with adenomyosis. For those who don't know, adenomyosis is a condition in which the inner lining of the uterus breaks through the muscle wall of the uterus. It can cause menstrual cramps, lower abdominal pressure, and bloating before periods, and can result in heavier periods. Now, the condition is quite common and is often diagnosed in middle-aged women and women who have had children. Some studies also suggest that women who have had prior uterine surgery may be at risk for the condition. Speaking at the Blog Her conference in New York City, Gabrielle Union said, I quote, "Towards the end of my fertility journey, I finally got some answers because everyone said, you're a career woman, you prioritized your career, you waited too long and now you're just too old to have a kid, and that's on you for wanting a career. The reality is I actually have adenomyosis. However, after multiple miscarriages and many rounds of IVF, Union had a baby via a surrogate last year." Coming in at 2, Hugh Jackman, skin cancer. In 2013, Hollywood actor Hugh Jackman posted a photo to social media that showed him with a large bandage affixed to his nose, with a caption that read, I quote, "An example of what happens when you don't wear sunscreen. Basal cell, the mildest form of cancer but serious nonetheless. Please use sunscreen and get regular checkups." Basal cell carcinoma is an uncontrolled growth which can look like an open sore or red patch, or even appear as a shiny bump or scar. According to some reports, this type of cancer is usually caused by a combination of cumulative and intense occasional sun exposure. Since his initial diagnosis, he's been treated 5 times and had cancerous cells removed from his nose and shoulder. However, what makes Jackman an absolutely incredible actor and a man of his art is that during the pitch for The Greatest Showman, Jackman was advised by doctors to not sing, because there was a chance his stitches in his nose might tear. However, once in the room and once the music began to play, Jackman ignored warning signs and sang nonetheless, and in turn got the movie greenlit. Coming in at 8, Kristen Chenoweth, Meniere's disease. Kristen Chenoweth is a star of stage and screen, appearing in Wicked and even having a recurring role on Glee during its runtime. We know how talented the star is and know that there is literally no note she cannot hit. Her voice is absolutely incredible, which is why it's shocking to learn that this singer suffers from Meniere's disease, a disorder of the inner ear that can cause pressure, vertigo, tinnitus, and even hearing loss. Kind of shocking for a star that spends the majority of her career singing. Now, the condition can be caused by inner ear deterioration, a head injury, allergies, or even infections. Now, Kristen's cause is unknown, but many have speculated that it may have been related to the severe head injury she suffered while on the set of The Good Wife after a lighting fixture fell on her. However, it has been unconfirmed. Coming at 7, Bret Michaels, heart disease. Bret Michaels is best known for being the lead singer of the glam metal band Poison, who have sold over 40 million records worldwide and 15 million records in the United States alone. In 2010, however, Bret Michaels suffered a mini stroke caused by a hole in his heart. Mini strokes are typically caused by a blood clot, according to the American Stroke Association. To repair the hole in his heart, doctors inserted a catheter into a vein in Michaels' groin and guided a device up into his heart, where it will stay permanently to stop abnormal blood flow between the two chambers of the heart. Without treatment, the singer could have been at risk for developing blood clots and having another stroke. Statistics show that 795,000 Americans suffer from a stroke each year. However, the difference between a stroke and a mini-stroke is that a mini-stroke's blockage of blood flow to the brain is temporary, leaving no permanent damage. Coming at 6, Aaron Carter hiatal hernia. Former teenage sensation Aaron Carter, known for music such as I Want Candy, Aaron's Party, and I'm All About You, is another celebrity on our list who sadly suffers from a chronic illness. The former singer revealed that he was diagnosed with a hiatal hernia. For those who don't know, a hiatal hernia occurs when the upper part of your stomach bulges through the large muscle separating your abdomen and your chest. Now, because of this, Aaron's appetite is affected, which in turn leaves him malnourished and restricts him from gaining weight. Coming in at 5, Seal discoid lupus erythematosus. Arguably one of the world's greatest singers, Seal is known for hits such as Kiss from a Rose, Stand By Me, Crazy, and Fly Like an Eagle. He is an incredible artist and a trailblazer in the soul and R&B genre. Now, Seal is known for his music, yes, but he's also known for the very unique scars he has on his face. Now, this is actually a result of a severe form of lupus that causes intense inflammation and skin lesions around the neck, face, and skull. Coming in at 4, George Clooney, chronic pain. Hollywood royalty George Clooney is famous for starring in some of the most critically acclaimed movies, including The Ides of March, Up in the Air, Michael Clayton, The Descendants, Ocean's 11, and Burn After Reading. However, did you know George Clooney suffers from chronic pain? According to reports, it all started back in 2005 after the actor sustained serious injuries on the set of Syriana. While filming a scene in which his character was being tortured, Clooney fell off a chair and split open his head. However, the injury was much worse than he initially thought. Clooney later learned that he had torn his dura, the outer layer around his spinal cord, and fluid was leaking out. He went on to have surgery on Christmas Day in 2005, but he's battled chronic pain ever since. Coming in at 3, Sasha Peters, PCOS. Famous star Pretty Little Liars Sasha Peters has been on the scene for a few years now, initially making it big as a model back in 2014, landing a cover of Bello magazine with the issue focusing on young Hollywood. However, Sasha had already been in the entertainment industry long before that, first appearing on our screens at the age of 6 years old, co-starring in 2002 as Buffy on the WB's remake of Family Affairs. However, it wasn't until she landed the role of Alison De Laurentiis in the ABC Family series Pretty Little Liars that she became a household name. However, a few years ago, Sasha revealed that she had been diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, a hormonal disorder which is common among young women of reproductive age. Women who suffer from the condition may have infrequent and prolonged menstrual periods or excess male hormone levels. Not only that, the ovaries may develop numerous small collections of fluid and fail to regularly release eggs. However, in Sasha's case, it contributed to her weight gain, which almost everyone began commenting on following Pretty Little Liars. The actress stated, I quote, "I had no idea what was going on. I didn't have any way of solving it. Very recently I was diagnosed with PCOS and I finally knew why this was happening to me." Coming in at 2, Cher, Epstein-Barr virus. Singer and actress Cher has been on the scene since the early 60s, with the singer rising to fame with songs like I Got You Babe, Believe, Half-Breed, and Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. The singer also made a name for herself in the world of acting, starring in films such as Silkwood, Mask, The Witches of Eastwick, Moonstruck, and of course Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again. However, since the late 80s, the star has been suffering from a condition that just won't go away, Epstein-Barr virus, also known as human herpes virus 4. This condition is a member of the herpes virus family and is found all over the world, and what most people don't know is that most people get infected with EBV at some point in their lives. The disease is spread through bodily fluids, primarily saliva, and can cause mono and other illnesses. Symptoms of EBV include fatigue, fever, inflamed throat, swollen lymph nodes in the neck, enlarged spleen, swollen liver, and rashes. After getting diagnosed, Cher was forced to take 3 years off from work just to try and get better, with the star even flying to Germany to seek treatment. According to Cher herself, the symptoms at one point were so severe she thought she might die. Through all of her treatments and efforts, her condition will never go away and has had a devastating aftermath of chronic fatigue syndrome.
And at number 10, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez has been very open about her struggles with autoimmune disease, lupus. Lupus is an inflammatory disease that causes the immune system to attack its own healthy tissue. Her lupus got so bad in 2017 that she had to undergo a kidney transplant. She was given a kidney from her fellow actress and BFF, Francia Raisa. When speaking about the transplant, Gomez said, quote, "Maybe I wasn't necessarily really good at knowing what that meant, so it actually got to a point where it was life or death. Thankfully, one of my best friends gave me her kidney, and it was the ultimate gift of life, and I'm doing quite well now." And at number 9, Nick Jonas. Former Disney star Nick Jonas was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was only 13 years old, and he's one of the 1.25 million Americans that suffer from the illness. When he was younger, it was hard for him to manage his work and the struggles of the illness. However, after some time and help from his family, he found a schedule that worked for him. Jonas also spreads awareness about type 1 diabetes whenever he can. While accepting an award in 2017, he told the crowd, quote, "This is truly incredible. These kids who are up here all have type 1 diabetes like myself. This is a disease I was diagnosed with when I was 13. It was a moment in my life when I was just getting ready to start making music with my brothers and touring, and it was something that I thought would slow me down before I even got started." But thankfully for Nick, that wasn't the case. And at number 8, Emilia Clarke. Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke recently revealed that she suffered from multiple brain aneurysms while she was filming Game of Thrones, and she had to have multiple life-saving surgeries. Clarke revealed the details in a piece she wrote for The New Yorker. Apparently, after she was done filming season 1 of the show, she suffered a brain hemorrhage while at a London gym. She said she felt like an elastic band was squeezing her brain. She was rushed to the hospital where she underwent brain surgery, and she said she couldn't even remember her own name. However, weeks later she did return to filming, even though she had another growth on her brain that doctors were concerned about. She had multiple other bursts that forced her into more surgery, and now she suffers with permanent speech issues because of it.
Coming in at 7, Carrie-Ann Inaba, Sjogren's syndrome. Former dancer and host of popular long-running series Dancing with the Stars, Carrie-Ann Inaba opened up to People's magazine about her Sjogren's syndrome disease, an autoimmune disease that can cause dry eyes, dry mouth, joint pain, fatigue, as well as other symptoms. The star stated, I quote, "There were days I could barely make my coffee because I was so exhausted." She also went on to state that therapy, acupuncture, Pilates, and yoga have helped her through the condition. However, she still suffers from flare-ups. On top of that, the star also suffers from fibromyalgia, a condition that results in constant pain accompanied by fatigue, sleep, memory, and mood issues. Coming in at 6, Gina Rodriguez, Hashimoto's disease. Known for her leading role as Jane Gloriana Villanova in the CW dramedy series Jane the Virgin, for which she received a Golden Globe Award back in 2015, this actress has been incredibly open about her Hashimoto's disease diagnosis. This condition is the most common cause of hypothyroidism, a condition that leads to an underactive thyroid, which in turn impacts the way your body puts energy to use. Gina told Self that her diagnosis came at the age of 26 and felt like the curse of a lifetime, which causes the star to gain weight, have memory issues, as well as other symptoms. I quote, "I've had it for so many years that rebellion of not taking care of myself can't exist anymore." Gina takes medication, has adjusted her diet, and has even integrated more exercise into her day in order to manage the disease. Coming in at 5, Gerard Butler, tinnitus. Star of films such as 300, Olympus Has Fallen, Phantom of the Opera, London Has Fallen, and The Ugly Truth. Not critically acclaimed films by no means, but certainly fan favourites. However, surprisingly, Gerard suffers from tinnitus ever since he was a young child, during which time he had to have his right ear pressed to try and correct the condition. However, it did not work. To this day, he still suffers from the condition that has left him hard of hearing in the same ear. Tinnitus is a medical condition that causes a constant ringing in the ear, and more interesting still, the actor has previously stated that the reason he has a crooked smile is because of this condition. Sadly, there is no cure for his condition, which leads the star constantly hearing a buzzing in his ear 24/7. That would drive me mad.
And at number 3, Kim Kardashian West. Kim first revealed her struggle with skin condition psoriasis on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. During the episode, Kris revealed that she also suffers from psoriasis, and that's most likely how Kim got it. Psoriasis is a skin disease that causes red, itchy, scaly patches, most commonly on the knees, elbows, trunk, and scalp. Psoriasis is a common long-term chronic disease, currently with no cure. Kim has been open about her struggle with the disease and the flare-ups that will occur. However, she has been vigorously treating it. She told People in 2017, quote, "I've been using this light, and I don't want to speak too soon because the psoriasis is almost gone, but I've been using this light therapy and my psoriasis is like 60% gone. Hopefully it's manageable for her now." And at number 2, Gabrielle Union. Endometriosis occurs when the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows into the muscular wall of the uterus, and it can be hard to catch because the tissue still acts normally and sheds each cycle. This has caused Union to have extreme fertility issues, which she shared openly. Union discussed this on Dr. Oz, saying, quote, "Fertility is not an older women's issue. It's an issue, period." She's also admitted that she has had countless miscarriages. She said she's lost count, but claims it's about 8 or 9 miscarriages at this point. She discusses more about her fertility issue in her new book, We're Going to Need More Wine, and she discusses how she's trying IVF treatment to get pregnant. However, this didn't work and the couple went the surrogacy route and now have a beautiful daughter.